Okay, hold on. I know it's been a hot minute since I've streamed, but give me 1 second to get everything better. Oh my god, I can't remember when the last time I posted I was live. Here we are. I knew it wasn't that far. Hold on. I'm posting my socials. Sorry everybody. Alright, now to do sound check on YouTube's, and then we'll get into it. And then we'll get into it. Okay, well, it sounds like I'm coming in really good, so... Okay, so we're gonna start a new game because it's actually been a hot minute since I played Terra Nil. So I don't really remember everything. And then I think they've added in some like new stuff since the last time I played. So yeah, but I do remember it's a puzzle game. It falls in that genre of games known as solar punk, I think. But it's essentially got like all the Hope Core stuff. Come on. Come on, get back in there. So we're gonna play a new profile. And yeah. Endanger Wildlife Trust. Sorry, I clicked on the little paw print that was in the corner. Because if I remember correctly, like, buying this game, a portion of proceeds go to helping animals and the environment. As you enter the virtual world of healing our planet, one tile of land and water at a time, consider the impact you are making on real-world conservation. Terranil offers a glimpse of the wonder and importance of wetlands, oceans, wildfires, plants, and animals, and their impacts on the environment. Free Lives is donating a portion of their profits from Steam sales to the Endangered Wildlife Trust, and with your help, have raised $110,000 to date. The EWT works to conserve species, restore habitats, and benefit people. This donation helps the EWT's conservationists to make a bigger difference protecting the environment for all of us. Thank you for your support. 26 March 2024. Yeah, so, yeah, so we're gonna start a new restoration. I think the maps, like, generate differently every time. But honestly, I just wanted something kind of cozy. Reclaiming River Valley. Reclaiming this landscape will involve wind turbines for power, toxin scrubbers to clean soil, and water pumps to restore the rivers. The steps to creating a temperate forest are not always straightforward, and you may need to use controlled fires before the trees can thrive. The first step in any restoration endeavor is to restore water and plant life. To begin with, increase the greenery in this valley with irrigation pumps and toxin scrubbers. Okay. There's a variety of approaches to the wasteland reclamation. What's yours? I want to meditate on the idyllic natural world. Removes resource requirements. I want to create beautiful, vibrant landscapes. Recommended for players seeking a more relaxing experience. I want to restore biodiversity and balance to the environment with strategy game experience. I want to rebuild the ecosystem with sophisticated machines. Not recommended for a first playthrough. Let's be a gardener. Ability popped up. That's tooltips. Between levels. Okay. Pan the camera by moving your mouse cursor to the edge of the screen. Okay. You can press and hold the middle mouse button. You can also pan with the arrow keys. Should start with a turbine. We'll put it right there. Now that you have electricity, you can clean the soil. Try to fit 4 toxin scrubbers as far from the turbine as possible. Okay. So that one goes there. Yay, tutorial! Some buildings can be rotated with the R or mouse wheel. Select the irrigator and try this. Oh, here we go. If you're ever lost, you can always look in the handbook for hints about what to do next. Increasing landscape greenery is your primary goal, but remember to keep an eye on your available resources. Get the greenery target to 30%. Okay. Oh, am I zoomed out as far as I can go? Okay. I guess we can do... I guess there's not really a lot. You can put that one there. And then get this one as like far away as possible. There we are. Ooh. Okay. Stuff got bigger. It's a whole new world, I guess. Alright. Hold on. Let me move this. Further, further, further. Zoom. Okay, let's see. Actually, we'll put it there. That may not have been the best idea, but you know what? We're going for it. One thing I like about Terra Nil is how desolate the landscape looks, and then as you add more stuff to it, it gets like better over time. You know? Also, I'm like really sorry I've been kind of MIA. I work at my new fish market, and I wasn't planning on being out of the lair for Christmas, essentially, or Fishmas. And it was all kind of last minute planning, really. But it was nice to go see my fish mom and, you know, go see some extended family that I hadn't seen in a couple years. We got a water pump. Oh, heck yeah. Fill it with the wagwa. Oh, I can get it right there. But yeah, no, I got distracted. Yeah, no, it was super nice, and I I just I see posts about people like reflecting on, you know, what they did and what they accomplished through the year. And you know, what their hopes and plans are for next year. And I kind of want to partake in that, but I also feel like I haven't really accomplished much this year. And I know that's like a personal, maybe like a personal thing, or maybe I just don't notice the things that I accomplish. But like, I'm at the end of the year and there it is. It was 109. What is this? Calcifier? Okay, well, I'm almost at 75% greenery. Get a water pump up here. I guess maybe the reason why it feels like I haven't, like, accomplished much is maybe because I see all the half, like, done projects and steps in my room. But I mean, I did a lot of experimentation with stickers. I made a lot of art. I did projects that I wasn't even sure that I could do. Like, one of my friends is getting me to do more, design work for logos and flyers. I met some really cool people this year. I actually met 2 people that that are local to me, and they seem really nice, and I like hanging out with them when I'm able to get a chance to hang out with them. I love my new fish market, like, in all honesty. Now, granted, my new fish market's been kicking my butt because, I'm not really used to being on my fins all day. Or at least not as often as I used to be. And so now that I am on my fins, like, a good portion of the day, they hurt, like, a lot. But also, I went from working, like, 4 hours every, like, 2 days to working upwards of 8 most of the week. So a lot of my projects have been kind of pushed to, like, the back burner as I try to figure out, like, what the hell I'm gonna do. So, yeah, I mean, I guess to me, like, you know, and I've done more research on, like, Strem, and I got really nice and met Sunday Grimm, and I got a VTuber model, which was something I wasn't expecting doing this year, was getting into the 3D space. Hey Fantas, Comfy Cozy Monday Strem. Hey Gordy, what's up? Welcome into Strem. It's gonna get kind of depressy, but we're gonna have Hope Core. Because if we don't have Hope Core, we'll cry. But you get to listen to me ramble! So, yay. Ooh, a new animal species has appeared. Heck yeah. So, yeah. It's alright, it's your stream, and you can be sad if you want to be. I will be sad! I'm not crying, you're crying. Actually, I kind of am crying. What am I talking about? Oh, hey, look, deer! That's not gonna be a problem. Alright, guys. 8092. I can't fit it back there. We'll just do this. Okay, I'm at 96%. Oh, more greenery showing up. Heck yeah. Oh crap, that should have been farther back. Whoops. I like that I can just do that. Hmm. I feel like this over here is gonna need a new riverbed. There we go. So, yeah, anyway, essentially, me on my, soapbox, I feel like there's more that I could have done this year. There's more that I probably should have done this year. But at the same time, there were things that happened this year that I didn't quite expect either. Like, I didn't expect to, I didn't expect to become a VTuber. You know? Like, I mean, technically I was a VTuber, but I was, like, more of a PNG tuber. I did not expect to have a 2D, like, model, essentially. Okay, once the backbone of the ecosystem is thriving, your next step is to increase the diversity of growing plants. Introduce fynbos, wetlands, and forests. You'll also need to begin to pay attention to the local climate. Okay. How do I get back where I need to get back? Okay, so we're looking at wetlands, beehive. Okay, we can do that. I'll put a beehive. Actually, I'll wait. I'm not doing this for the love of strategic planning. This is just we're gonna kind of play around with it. But I also didn't expect to connect with so many artists on when I went to Conjuration. You know, going to Conjuration, I got to learn quite a bit. This is just gonna have to work. You know, I did get a new printer. I did get to experiment more with, like, print stuff. I drew a lot this year. Like, I drew a lot. I did more of a pinup style than I normally do. I've played around with more, like, colors and tutorials and stuff like that. I made more videos, experimented more with what maybe kind of worked and what maybe didn't. So, you know, there were a lot of small things that happened that were good, that I feel like I could probably chalk up as a win. That being said, for next year, I want to be more visible, if that makes sense. So get out more highlights and shorts and clips and all that good stuff. Because I think about streamers that, like, I really like and that I follow, and it's not so much I follow them for their streaming, I follow them for their clips. You know? And that's not to say that I wouldn't support them streaming. I mean, heck, I have friends that I really need to support more in streaming, so... Ooh, that's a bit too far. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm trying to set up a good, like, basis for where I want things. So, I'm trying to fill in as best I can. Okay. Alright, now let's do the beehives. Now that we have a broader range of what to work with. Actually, you know what we could do is we could put a beehive here. I don't entirely remember what this does. Oh, well there goes that entire half of the world. Whoops. If you're wondering, this was not supposed to happen like this. Okay, that doesn't work. Ah, there we go. I was about to be like, holy shit, I don't know how to fix it. Ooh. It's a swan bird thing? Oh, hey, we got deer. got a beaver. Sweet. And a frog. I'm a frog, and I'm frogging. Research center? Oh, hold on, let me do that area. Woo! Big Banner's Guide to Ecosystem Restoration. With plant life and climate reestablished, the final step is to construct an airship by recycling your buildings. As you remove your presence, encourage fauna to stay by satisfying their needs so that they can be the new custodians of this ecosystem. Right. Got it. Okay. Okay, my dude, you're gonna get a little smushed. Build an animal observatory to take photos of animals. Okay. Sonic Pulse. Oh! This is new! The little bridge? That is so cool! That bridge wasn't there the first time I played. That is so freaking adorable! I love it. God, I fucked up this whole half of the world. Okay, hold on. Okay, oh, okay, hold on. Ooh, we found a bear. I got him on his belly! Yeah, that's new. Okay. Alright, I dig it. Okay, correction, I got one. See, the thing of it is I can't build, like, super big bridges. I think they're only, like, 1 space by 1 space. Hmm. Yeah, cleanup is the other really creative part about this game is not only do you have to think about like where you're laying stuff, but also how you're gonna get the tools to recycle them. Climate is defined by these attributes. Right now, you are only interested in humidity, but these can change in the future. Researching certain thresholds of attributes will have broad effects on the environment. Buildings that grow plants, like the irrigator or beehive, are also affected by regional climate attributes. Many buildings modify the climate slightly, but some, like this cloud seeder, change it significantly. Cultivating the right climate is an important step in your reclamation journey. Good luck. I was wondering what that was. that's 5%. Ooh. What was that percentage? This is 10. Oh yeah, that's right, because rain's gonna be important. Have names now? That's so fucking cute! Oh my god, okay. Alright. Calm down. Okay. Oh shit, this is the teeny excavator. Okay. Oh wait, why did I do that? I need that. You're right there, and then... Okay, that's not where I wanted it to be, but you know what? If that's the best photo I take, that's the best photo I take. Oh, it's funny. So at my new fish market, they have the very, very wrong impression of me. And I tell this to people, or rather, I told this to my my mama, and she's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Well, one, they think I'm an early morning person, of which I am not, and second, they think I'm in my 20s." And I'm like, you gotta add a decade to that. And they're like, shut the fuck up, really? And I'm like, yes. Legit. Actually, you know what? I'm going to burn this area and make the foresty place start a fire. Sorry, guys. Well, it's because fish peeps age well moisturized and whatnot. I suppose. Yeah, I probably should have waited until after, but... I'm trying to make it pretty! Well, shiitake mushrooms. Now I have to figure out how to recycle it. Oh, I hope that swan's okay. Whoops. He'll be okay, don't you think? But that's always good to hear. I don't even try to hide my age with all the grays in my beard. I mean, I'm not saying it isn't good, but it's funny because I'll have people come up to me and I know they mean well, but they're like, you know, my first job was at a grocery store. Or my first job was, you know, as a cashier. And I'm like, that, and you know, that's typically most people's first, like, that's typically most people's first, you know, like, job. And to me, it's interesting because it's my, like, fourth or fifth. And, oh, crap. Wait. Okay, I don't have to add another water pump, but I am gonna add cloud thingy. Yeah. Oh, it's Taikaro! Hi! Hello, friends! Welcome in! Give me 1 second. What were you doing? What were you streaming? And more importantly, did you win? Okay, that's at 70. Hi! Hello, Raiders! I know y'all just got off a strum. Started RE4. We won for the most part, but motion sickness is getting the better of me. How's whatever this is going? So this game is called Terra Nil, and basically what you're doing is you're revitalizing the Earth. And rebuilding the environment, and you can like make it kind of pretty. It's a very fun puzzle game. And so far we're doing things mildly correctly. I say mildly. Truthfully, I don't even know if I'm doing any of this correctly, but I'm having a good time. So, there's that. I have that going for me. Also, Raiders, if you need to go get food, go get Wagwa, go to bed because some of y'all have day jobs in the morning, please feel free to go on ahead and head on out for the post-stream clarity. Taikaro, if you need to raid and fade, thank you so much for trusting me with your community. I appreciate it. Please go get the good rest, and we'll talk later. Okay, I gotta do one more thing. Okay, so windmill. I gotta get the good rain. There we go. I started the salmon run. Woo! That awkward moment where I realized all of that was optional. Right, and... Oh, photo stars achieved 8 out of 10. I gotta take more photos. That's deer. I think I already have deer. Bears. I think there's one I don't have. Ooh. Nope. Bear. Beavers! Beavers like being photographed, right? Nope. Beavers like being photographed, right? Okay. Oh wait, there are the frogs. I've been wondering where they were. If they didn't hibbity hop away. Come on now. Ooh. I don't see where the frog is. The photo is so great, the frog blended in. Heck yeah. Where's the salmon? There's bear. Wow, that whole area is just bears. Oh my god. That's more deer. More swans. Oh, wait, there they are. Come on, salmon, go! God damn it! Okay, hold on. Oh, I caught one! God, why do I always take it? Okay, ideally happy Timberwolves. Oh, is that the one that I have to take? Okay, alright, hold on. Where are the Timberwolves? Aurora. She is... somewhere in here. Oh, whoops. Oh, wait. There they are. I got it. You know what? It counts. Oh, I have to get rid of these. Okay. Alright. I've done everything I can do. Probably going to lurk and lay down since my head is killing me, but have fun. Will do. Try to feel better, Ty. Alright. We did it! God. I've been watching too much video analysis of Amanda the Adventurer. And so I'm like, can you help me find the wolf? Or at least that's what I thought. And then I was like, nope, we're not doing that. Continue. The next map will make super pretty. Or try to, anyway. That's a 25% restoration. Hill and Dale. Embark. We're gonna go make it pretty. But no, they're, actually, I remember when Sushi tried to get me to play, Amanda the Adventurer. Begin your restoration efforts using wind turbines, clone filters, and irrigators to create greenery. Clone filters can be rotated. Okay, that's new. I've never seen those. Ooh. Clone filter. Ah, okay. Alright. Let's see. Guess we'll start there. Oh, it's a cone. That's probably why they call it a cone filter. I wonder if they made these to make it more like... Yeah, because it feels more corner friendly. And so you're not overlapping as much. Okay. Alright. I can get behind this. Okay, okay. Alright, now let's make it green. Or try to, anyway. God, I don't know what I was talking about. Oh yeah, Amanda the Adventurer. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of, the Amanda the Adventurer, like, analysis and playthrough, and, one guy did a really in-depth study about how Amanda the Adventurer is a critique on how media portrays itself to kids. or how media convinces kids of like stuff. And it was a really interesting analysis. The story of Amanda the Adventurer is also something really interesting, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of kicking myself for not jumping on it when Sushi asked me to, like, play it. But at the same time, like, I also wasn't really a big fan of the 3D graphics in, for the Amanda the Adventurer, like, TV show portion. Whereas that weirdly, like, 3D animated, like... If you've ever seen the, like, clips for the game and the, like, in-game show, I don't know what it was, but that shit freaked me out. And granted, you know, it's a horror game. Of course it's gonna freak you out, but, like, it was very unnerving, and honestly, I'm not sure I honestly could play Amanda the Adventurer. I feel like I would cry. And you know what? Maybe I'm a wimp for that, but maybe I also recognize what my limitations are. Like, bending in the fucking cardboard cutout. I fucking hate that thing. Anyway, not the, like, point, but... But no, I gotta get my shit together. I'm not even gonna lie. There are some things I feel I did well, and other things I feel like I could have done better on this year. And next year, you know, I have lofty projects that I want to do, but due to some, personal circumstances, I kind of have to push them back a little bit more than I had hoped I would. And maybe that's a good thing, because maybe I'm just not ready to fully pull the plug on those or not pull the plug, but to fully commit to those projects yet. Is that bad to say? Whenever I feel strongly about something, I pull, tarot cards. I've always liked tarot cards. I've always liked being able to, like, read, but unlike my friend Yin, I do it more as a hobby rather than, like, a professional thing. But pulling my cards has been kind of interesting because when I pull my cards, I get things like, you know, you should jump all in and go for it, and, you know, and not try to, like, hide what you want to do or become. And you're more, like, the overall message, I guess, is that you're more capable than you think you are. And that's kind of reassuring, but it's also like, you know, when you're going through it and you're just like, how can anybody trust me to do anything, you know? But as much as I love my fish market job, my new one that I have, I can't help but feel like it's a step backwards from where I wanted to be or what I wanted to do. You know? Because now I feel like I'm right back into, putting, you know, my art on hold and putting that, like, business on hold. And I guess, you know, I guess maybe I'm not really, like, businessy because the business has been kind of, you know, I've been kind of flitzing around with stuff, but I partially wonder if maybe now that there's some, like, relief and all of my, finances don't have to rely on my business being successful, like my art business essentially. I wonder if I can enjoy it more and I'm not going to freeze up as much as I did in the past 2 years, where it felt like I was failing because I wasn't making what I thought I could. You know? One thing I will say is, if you're thinking of starting a business for yourself, that you will learn things about yourself you didn't know you wanted to learn, and you will be humbled real fucking quick. Or, you know, maybe that's just me. And then I think of, ironically enough, I think of that quote from Finding Nemo, where, like, Marlin is getting frustrated with Nemo and then yells at him, you know, you think you can do these things, but you can't. And, like, the regret is instant, right? Because, like, Marlin feels like an absolute POS for saying it, but it's kind of one of those, like, how do I put this without sounding like kind of pessimistic? It's kind of one of those, like, should you recognize that there are limits and that it's better to work within those limits to, you know, make something kind of okay than to try to push past them and find out that it wasn't worth it in the end? I don't know, maybe I think that's probably a bit defeatist, but it's something I think about, you know, because we have stories about overcoming, you know, or not, what is it, like, you have stories about overcoming limitations and overcoming, you know, like, what people tell you you can be and what people tell you you can do, right? And those stories are great. You know, everybody likes an underdog. Everybody wants to, like, achieve their dreams. But, like, at the same time, is it important to have stories that can recognize, like, maybe you can't push past this, but that doesn't mean that, you know, that doesn't mean that you're not worth it. I think it's better to try than not to, but people do like staying within their comfort zone. Yeah, that's true. It is better, what is it? It is better to try and have failed than have never tried at all. Besides, you don't know, like, what your limits are until you actually try to push them. But when you do push them, it's kind of scary. You know? Because it's like, how far do I push them before they break? And can I handle them once they do break? I was actually talking with one of my friends earlier because, well, one of my friends, they, no, I'm not gonna talk about that. Well, okay, so one of my friends is very, like, headstrong, like, insane, like, will, like, suspend the need for sleep if it means furthering their goals and ambitions. And I keep telling them that I'm worried that they're gonna like they're gonna hit a wall or they're just gonna collapse, and then they're not gonna know, like, essentially, they've gotten to the point where, like, they say that they're fine no matter what's going on, that they can't, like, they can't recognize what their limits are anymore in a way that's very unhealthy. And I'm like, you gotta stop doing this. And they're like, but I can't. Like, I have to keep pushing. I have to keep going. And I'm like, but that doesn't mean that you can't take a break. And they're like, but I can't, because if I take a break, then I'm not moving forward. And on one hand, I get it. You know, because you want to be moving forward, but I think having a constant need to move forward is in itself unhealthy. Pride can be such a disadvantage. Yeah, there's always time for break rest. Pride is weird. Like, pride is very weird. Because, like... Ooh, we did it. Next, introduce woodland, forest, and scrubland. Combustors increase the ambient temperature, but also burn a small area of plant life to ash. Fires create the nutritious ash that sustains forest life, but may also help correct an overabundance of some biomes. Okay. Emissions is great, but don't compromise health and rest. That's kind of what they do, and I tell them, I've actually told them straight to their face, I'm worried you're gonna crash and burn. And they just kind of give me this, like... What the hell is this? Combustor? Oh, burn surrounding vegetation. Ah, okay. Alright. What the hell does this do? Oh, okay. I I tell them all the time. I'm like, I tell them to their face, I'm like, I'm worried you're about to, like, burn out and collapse. To the point where not even your passion project is gonna be able to, like, sustain you. And they... they're like, well, it is my passion projects that are keeping me sane and helping me, you know, move and are helping me get through, you know, the things that I need to get through. And I'm like, okay, but what's going to happen when your passion projects don't? And they're like, but they're my passion projects, so they will? Question mark. And so trying to, like, get them to rest is, like, kind of like pulling teeth, almost, because they're in essentially that mindset that if they stop for any reason, it's... Okay, this is gonna sound very dramatic, and I know this sounds dramatic. This is not how they feel, but this is how I feel about how they feel as their friend. This is gonna sound absolutely horrible, but, like, I feel like they feel that taking a break or resting is a death sentence. And I know that's wild to say, but that's kind of what it feels like. Or that's kind of like the mindset that they have that it feels like. And again, I have a tendency to be over dramatic AF, so, like... Me saying this is not a, is not how they, I think, would feel personally. But yeah. And see, I have, I tend to suffer from decision paralysis. I suffer from being stuck in my own fucking head. Alright, and it's kind of one of those, like, what if it fails miserably, but then what if it's super successful? And then I wind up not doing anything because I'm just kind of like, oh my god. Okay, I gotta figure out how to do the, like, fire thing in a much better way than the way I'm currently doing it. Because, holy hell. Well, it'll stop burning eventually, I guess. Actually, I could put... forest all through here. Yeah, have the forest like kind of cut in between there. And then we'll add shmee hives. I gotta add that little like rock area. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Too close to another turbine. Okay. Oh, I didn't mean to get that close. Oh, here we go. Have the like wetlandy area be like over here. But yeah, essentially I worry about my friend. But I feel like I maybe possibly say things that could be what one would call discouraging. I don't know. I feel like I always say, or I feel like how do I put this? I feel like there are things that I might be a little bit too honest about, and because of that, it could come across as very, discouraging and unfriendly. let your dreams be memes. Live your life to the fullest. But within reason. And tip your waitress. Or waiter. You know, we're equal opportunity here. Uh-huh, that's what that does. Okay. This could be the rocky corner. Hint, hint. Wink, wink. I don't know if you can tell, but I am intentionally trying to make stuff pretty. Ooh, maybe. All right. Alright, so now we build our airship. And then we start recycling everything. Okay, let's see. I promise we're gonna do more environmentally things. I probably should have been doing that and just completely spaced on it. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's get to some more recycling. Mm-hmm. Wait. Nope, I can't get it right there. But I may be able to get it back here. See, the problem is with the big one, I need a lot of space. This game is so pretty. That moment where I thought I grabbed everything over here. Oh, it just kind of reaches. Water pump! Come on! Oh, I can just get everything, but it's barely... Oh! Oh! Crap! Crapola! But, yeah, I don't know. I got involved in the, like, calm vibes, so I didn't do the chitty chats, but, I still have one all the way out there. Alright, I gotta figure out how to do this. Here we go. Water pump. Okay. No. Okay, that's all fixed. Hey, look, a deer. Oh, I found a bear. Frogs. Alright, I'm gonna need you to stay right there. Woo! This is not gonna be ideal, but you know what? Here we go. Oh, shoot, that was actually a rather controlled burn. Heck yeah. Oh, crap, that's not what I wanted to do. No, it can't start raining now! I'm hoping that this will spawn, timber wolves. There we go. It's all like, oh, why didn't you think of that earlier? And it's like, because I didn't think about that earlier. Whoops. Did I get a timber wolf? Yes! There they are. They hang out where the deer do. All right. I have no idea what I'm doing wrong, other than that it is wrong. Ooh. I did it. Look at this beautiful, somewhat barren landscape we made. Alright, we'll do one more. Oh, I got a couple of achievements. Complete a mission with all the... Okay, interesting. What's this? Desolate Island. Polluted Bay. Seven. Yeah, maybe let's finish this little island that we're on, and when we come back we can do the next little island, maybe. Both greenery and clean ocean contribute towards your goal. You will need to use power pylons to build toxin scrubbers farther inland, carving new riverbeds with excavators, and then placing calcifers will allow you to create rocks to support pylons in remote areas. Ooh, we're getting involved in the ocean. Alright. Tidal turbine. Huh. Alright. Okay. That's just a power source. Alright. I see those still work as intended. Oh, do they have to be built on rocks? That would make sense. I think they said that in like the little tutorial that I was half paying attention to. Yeah, okay. See, I'm smart, kinda. Actually, we'll just do this one and then I'll call it here because I do have to go back to the fish market tomorrow. But tomorrow I will be streaming. We're gonna be doing some painting. Just something fun. I promise we're getting to the green. Not really, but we're trying. It's the green, it's the green, it's the green you need. And when I look into your future, it's the green that I see. On you, little man, I don't want to waste much time. You've been pushed around all your life. You've been pushed around by your mother, your brother, and your sister. And if you was married, why, you'd be pushed around by your wife. But in your future, the you I see is exactly the man you always wanted to be. This actually makes me want to play Dolok Town on stream, because that game is actually really interesting. It's a side-scrolling like farming like platform game where you like essentially come to town after like what is it? Like an apocalypse. And or an environmental apocalypse, and you have to try to farm through things like acid rain and stuff. It's a lot of fun. I was also thinking about doing Dave the Diver, just as something fun and cozy. Oh, also I extended the Dark Souls channel point redemption thing for another 30 days. So if the community demands it, I will play Dark Souls remastered. Oh, I can't get that far in. Okay. Alright. Doesn't that bother you? Nope. Really? Really, really? I don't know how, but when I was at my mama's and we were watching Christmas movies, the autoplay started to play Shrek movies. So we started watching Shrek 1 and 2. And then she quit before we could get to 3, and I was like, we're already at 3, we're already down 1 and 2, we may as well watch 3 and 4, and she's like, but it's Christmas, and I'm like, I guess Shrek is now a family Christmas tradition. Also, the CGI looks so weird rewatching the first one. Like, back in the early 2000s, that shit was peak, and now I'm, like, rewatching it, and, like, I can tell where shit's just, like, a background image, and where the environment's, like, 3D CGI. But, like... it's still, like, a really good series, you know, because it's so watching the first one, right, it subverts all of your expectations for the traditional, like, fairy tale of, you know, knight saves a princess, locked away in a castle and whatnot, and I know that's, like, that's the most basic interpretation, that you can have, but, like, at the same time, it's just, it's done really well. Like, the fact that Fiona is actually in the tower, not because she herself is a damsel, but because, she was meant to, like, this is all based on the first movie, so before any of the sequels, right? She is a damsel, but she is not in distress. Like, Homegirl willingly stayed at the tower, you know, to find her true love for true love's kiss. And you can tell this, because of how she fights off, Robin Hood and His Merry Men, which, if you haven't seen the movie by now, go watch the movie. Alright? That movie's, like, I'm not gonna say how old it is, but that movie's old. Alright? Go watch it. But, okay, we're at 80%. There's only so many rocks I can place. Ah! Rocks fall. Everyone dies. Everything is broken. There we go. But yeah, so Fiona's in the tower because she stays there willingly. Like, you know, based off her fighting prowess, she might not be able to, like, take Dragon down, right, by herself, but she can definitely sneak away from Dragon. And she just chooses not to because that's not what princesses do. Like, princesses don't rescue themselves. But then Shrek is definitely the unconventional hero. You know, he doesn't, like, he rescues her, yes, but, like, he does it out of order where he doesn't, like, charge in to defeat the dragon first. He goes after, you know, Fiona, and then he, you know, his mighty steed is a donkey. Which donkey is great. And you know, he's not even her, like, at least initially, he's not even her like true love. Like, he's not there to rescue her because he wants to rescue her. He's there to get her so he can just go back to living his normal life as an ogre in a swamp and not be bothered by all of the fairy tale creatures that Farquaad has dumped on his property. And yes, before you ask, there is a romance book based off of Shrek. And every time it pops up on my For You page, I giggle. I giggle that somebody was like, you know what? Yes, let's write the romance. Ooh, I can get it right there. Speaking of, oh, I came up with a really wild romance story potential. So my fish market has Wagyu, right? Which, if you don't know what Wagyu is very, how shall I put this? Very, very fine beef. From Japan. Essentially, Wagyu is really expensive steak that has really fine coloring and marbling on it. And essentially, the criteria to define a steak as Wagyu is in fucking tense. Alright, like, I'm 90% sure that the animals they raise that then become Wagyu live a more luxurious life than most people. I cannot and will not be convinced otherwise. By introducing wetlands and forest beehive. Okay. Alright, I can do that. And the reason why I say this is because not only does, like, because the animals have to be cared for in a certain way to make sure that they're, that the marbling, which is the fat, like, that you typically see on steak is, like, layered within the meat really well. And Wagyu goes through a grading of, like, A1 to A5, with A5 being the most, like, pristine amount of beef. What the hell is this? Oh, that's the conservatory. That's the hydroponium. Is there not one that works in the ocean? We'll see. But in any case, so yeah, so these cows have to basically be cared for in a certain way that allows you know, this like meat to work. But then after they're butchered, the meat has to go through like coloring, how extensive is the marbling, you know, like essentially it gets judged and tested within an inch of its life before it gets the Wagyu criteria. And then on top of that, grade A5 Wagyu is more pristine than like I think it's prime USA beef or something like that, which again is also insanely wild. But, like, none of that compares to what the price of this Wagyu is, which is, $99 a pound. Oh, yeah. My soul and my wallet had a heart attack, and then I had to tell one of my other friends about it, and they had a heart attack. They're like, "You're fucking kidding," and I'm like, "Nuh-uh. No, I am not, my friends." And they're like, "What do you mean? It's like $99. And I'm like, "Yeah, for a pound of grade A5 Wagyu, it is $99 at my fish market." Well, we started looking it up to see, you know, if you could get like other Wagyu, right? And there's this website that sells Wagyu. But they sell it in like different cuts and stuff. If you want 9 pounds of grade A5 Wagyu, right? This is 9 pounds. It is $1,000, and you have to make the what is it? You have to make the order 3 months in advance. And we were both kind of sitting there, like, in stunned silence, and I'm like, okay, for that, like, that steak better solve all my life problems. Like, one bite of that steak better solve all of my life problems. Alright, I better get, like, wishes granted for all of that, you know? But it's one of those things that it's supposed to be like a once-in-a-lifetime event that you're able to like, or rather, okay, let me say this. For the 1%, maybe not so much, but for the average schmuckos like you and me, it's like a once-in-a-lifetime event to like be able to like sit down and try this and have it be prepared excellently by like, by, you know, like a top chef in the field. So, of course, you know, I do what I do best, which is make a ton of jokes. And so I was talking with one of my friends that I told, that I told about the Wagyu. I'm like, for that price, that better be, you know, like, I go and I eat and I take a bite, like just a bite. This is like you save up 2 years of your salary just to go get a bite. Not a full steak, not a filet mignon style steak, but just like a bite of this stuff. It's like you it's like, you know, you start dating this guy that's like uber rich, and he flies your ass out to Japan to show you the quote-unquote finer things in life, and he takes you to try Wagyu for the first time, and I'm probably horribly butchering that, but then, you know, you go and you sit down and you have dinner and it's so great, and then you become coerced into being a mob spouse, and, you know, I don't know why I said mob spouse specifically, or like a Yakuza spouse or something, please don't at me, but yeah, and then you, like, ascend to the heavens, or you ascend to, like, godhood, and it was this long, like, tirade, and I forget all the, like, bits I threw in, but yeah, I was on some really, like, wild-ass shit. But I was like, You know, it's like you meet this guy who flies you out to Japan, even though you have work to go try like grade A5 legendary Wagyu, and then you get coerced into being a criminal spouse because you know that is the finer thing in life. And then all of a sudden you like ascend into godhood just after taking a bite of this really rare steak. And my friend was laughing and was like, oh my god, I think you have your next premise for a romance novel, and it's called, and you should call it The Meat of the Gods for the double entendre. And I'm like, I hate it. I would so read it. The moment it popped up in my Kindle for you for you recommendations, I would buy it immediately. And again, mostly because I'm just kind of dramatic AF, you know? What do you mean target invalid? Oh. It's because it was out of range. But yeah, no, I don't know why. I've been telling everybody we have A5 Wagyu. Just cause it's wild to me that we have it. But, like, again, for $99 a pound, I was talking about it with one of my coworkers, and they were like, I'm like, has anybody gotten any yet? And they were like, well, there was this one guy that bought like $150 worth of Wagyu, and I was like, oh my god. Like, could you imagine if your first time preparing steak was you had to prepare Wagyu? Or on a whim, you decided to be like, I want to try making steak. Let's do Wagyu for the first, like, oh my god. Alright, well, I've got that whole area covered. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I kind of fudged this because I'm not really paying that much attention, but I'm also having fun. I don't know. Life is just too short, you know? You gotta have all the laughs. Or if you're like me, you just gotta be dramatic AF. Ooh, 4. Increase the humidity. Make everything wet. Make everything wet again. Wait, what? Oh hey, I can finally reach over here now. Actually, I forget. There was this lady. I'm trying to think about why I thought mobster spouse, and that was because, there was this lady that, so there was a period where, like, Book Talk was kind of under scrutiny. And not to say that Book Talk is ever not under scrutiny, but, like, what was it? There was a period where, like, having the, like, mafia wife look for, like, your popular, like, mafia romance novels, or, like, say, if I were to be a mafia wife, like, it was essentially a mafia wife look trend that was getting, popular on TikTok. And so this lady, I forget her name, but she's like a former mafia wife, and she basically came out to speak against that trend and be like, hey, you know, like, I know it may seem fun, but being a mafia wife is not, you know, the reality of it is very much more not kosher, essentially, despite, you know, how media and, like, movies and books, like, make it seem like it's a lot of fun. And, anyway, my point being is that she started popping up on my For You page again. And so I started, like, watching some of her content. And it's pretty wild, honestly. Like, some of the stuff she talks about, like, you know, there was at one point where, like, she had so many, I think, like, clothes that she was just kind of like, I have all these clothes, and, you know, I wasn't buying more clothes because I needed more clothes. I was buying clothes because mine were, like, slightly dirty, you know? And basically how, like, being in that type of a relationship is interesting because, like, they'll treat you as, like, how do I explain it? They'll treat you like kind of put you up on a pedestal, so, like, it's like, hey baby, if you want this dream house, we'll get it in, like, 2 days. Or, hey baby, you know, if you want to go shopping, here's, you know, like, 20K, go treat yourself. Or, like, if you mention there's, like, I don't know, like, maybe a car you like, right? But then the flip side to that is, you know, you're, you know, he could be doing shit that gets you in trouble, right? Or, like, there's people that want to, get him, but will also want to get you. Or, like, you could be interrogated by the police, or, like, you know, you have to act a certain way, and you have to be, you know, God, what's that word? Discreet about some things? You know? Because, again, criminals. But it's like... Or, on a more, like, darker note, being, getting inadvertently addicted to drugs, right? And having that addiction be used against you. You know, it's just stuff like that. I probably shouldn't even be talking about this, but, but no, I remember I was watching some of her videos, and then I, like, randomly texted one of my friends, and I'm like, I think I could be coerced into being a mafia spouse. And he was like, what? He's like, where the hell did that come from? And I'm like... Cause I do that, right? So, like, I'll do this thing where, like, I won't talk to anybody for, like, days, right? And then all of a sudden I'll just kind of, like, pop up out of the blue with this random wild-ass take. That's just, like, I think I could honestly be coerced into being a mafia spouse. And people are just kind of like, what? Okay. And it's like, but hear me out though. Actually, but don't. Nah, it was funny because I was telling my mom, I was like, you know, I don't think I could be in a cult. And my mom's like, why? Because you think you're too smart to be in a cult? And I said, no. It's because part of being in a cult is, they want you to, you know, like, excommunicate, like, everybody you used to know. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. But, side note, that guy, no. Wait, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, so anyways, so basically the idea is that they want you to excommunicate, like, everybody that you used to know. And I told, my mom, I was like, I don't think I can do that. Because I have a really close bond with my mom. And I was just like, plus, you know, going after the first meeting, my social battery would be drained to the point where, like, I'd be like, it's too much effort to go back. And she laughed and she was just like, you know, for somebody who doesn't really like people, you're really, like, sociable. I'm like, yeah, but that sociability, like, runs out, like, very quickly. I think a little more quickly than people realize. Which is why she finds it hysterical that, my new fish market, is under the impression that I am a very sociable early morning person instead of the grumbly, abyss dwelling night owl I am. But in any case, I was talking with my mom and I was like, you know, I couldn't do cult dynamics because cult dynamics mean that I have to excommunicate people I know, and I can't do that with certain people. But being coerced into being a being a mob spouse, honestly, I could see me falling for that. And I asked her, I was like, do you think you could do that? And without hesitation, my mom didn't even think about it. She was like, yes, I could too. I was like, damn! I don't know why I'm talking about it. It's just something that I thought was funny. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, I would have a lot of questions that would go out the fucking door if I found out somebody was, somewhat involved in organized, activity. And then I think of that one scene in Ratatouille where it's the blonde-haired chef dude that's like, I killed a guy with this thumb. I could see that. But like the story changes every time, which makes it great. Well, at least in Ratatouille. I don't know about in real life. Real life, I think the situation's a lot more complicated. Stretch. My back, I shrunked for too long, and I'm not gonna lie, kind of fading. So, with that being the case, I'm gonna end stream here. Well, maybe a little bit longer, because we're almost done. Although that's gonna be like a pain in my butt to get to. Alright, let me dig down, and we'll push through. Hey, it's a wolfie. Oh yeah, I gotta build the, The observatory. Oh, they're green. Found frogs. And they're frogging. Now kiss. I didn't know these could go up steps. Holy shit. We can be taught. Okay, I feel like some of y'all ended up in the wrong area. Let me see. I'll have to wait for the rain to stop. Hold on. This game is so relaxing. I wonder if it's because they were so wet. That's why they didn't burn. I guess let's let it come back and then try it again. I'll just let this be. I'm wondering, do I actually need to take pictures of all the animals? Oh shit, I didn't know I could relocate them. Holy fuck. Was that always an option? Little bear booty. Nope. If I keep moving them, eventually they'll be happy, right? Okay, I'm calling it here. I'll have to figure out the bears later. Alright, I'm going back to the main menu. Alright, everybody, I think our next game is going to be Terra Nil because it's a really cozy game, really fun, environmentally friendly, but also I just don't have the brain capacity right now to do anything really complicated. So, with that, much love. I know tonight was a bit sad, but also hopeful and critical. Don't get it twisted. I am looking forward to the new year, but I feel like the new year is going to put a fair amount of new chaos in my life that I just was not prepared for. I mean, technically speaking, I wasn't really prepared for this year either, but it's a curveball. It's a curveball I wasn't quite expecting, you know? With that being the case, I'm not raiding into anybody. I'm just gonna let y'all disperse. I will find somebody to raid into tomorrow night, though. But yeah, I will see everybody tomorrow for art. Hope you all have a good whenever. Much love.